everybody, what's your favorite thing about going back to school? And for you grown-ups, if given the chance, would you go back and do it again?
Those are some great questions. We're going to be talking about those and more with today's special back-to-school episode of Camp Town Hall. What's up, everybody? This is Caleb.
Hey, it's Kim.
We're super excited for today. It's back to school season. School's in session. Kids are going back to school. Parents are breathing a sigh of relief. And so we're excited. We're going to be talking a little bit about school today. And, for the icebreaker, for the getting to know you, I think it'd be good to talk about what our favorite school supply is. I know it's maybe hard for you, Kim, because
so hard.
Yeah, but you're just a fan of, I think you're still a fan of school supplies. Like when that school list comes out, I think you're eyeballing them, aren't you?
I do want to pick one up and peruse it a bit. And I always look through the school supply section just to see the new and the latest, greatest.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you can really improve the pencil, but I always look to see if they have. But one of my favorite quotes it's from the movie You've Got Mail.
Uh-huh.
And where Tom Hanks's character says, I would send you a bouquet of freshly sharpened pencils.
Yes.
Like, I feel like that's my love of school.
Okay, that's what I need to do is make you a bouquet of freshly sharpened pencils, which I don't know why, but we have probably a good 150 pencils in our house.
Because I buy them every year to see if the pencil
Apparently,
has
Kim
changed.
likes the bouquets of pencils, and they've gone mechanical now. So
I have those too.
Actually, they've been mechanical for several years. So pencils, is that what you're thinking then?
No, my favorite school supply would be probably pens. And I love the zebra pens, the really fine point blue ink. That's my jam. Okay. I love, but this is maybe it's not a little known fact, but I would actually organize my school supplies about 15 times once we purchased them before they actually made it to my schoolroom desk.
Wow, I would just be happy to have the school supplies, in a bag somewhere, maybe even like a plastic Walmart bag or something, just in time for school. No. I was not a fan of going back to school shopping. We'll talk about that in a little bit, some of the things that it was almost agonizing back to school shopping, but we'll get to that in a minute. But I would have to say my favorite school supply would be a notebook because, it's like endless possibilities with a notebook. You can write in it. True. You can draw in it. You can make your plans for taking over the world and whatever. The sky's the limit. And there, of course, you gotta have a pen. So I guess you and I make a great couple.
Okay, wide ruled or college ruled? What was your choice?
When I discovered college ruled, I was really a fan of it because I felt like I was cooler and older, even though I was still. I was like 13 years old. I'm like, college ruled? I can look so smart because I'm writing on tinier lines. And with my horrible penmanship, it was actually a bad thing.
You needed
I needed the wide rule. I needed to be able to explore the space a little more. So really, I like the idea of college ruled. I'm a wide ruled kind of guy, though.
So, okay, do you have a favorite back to school memory or subject or anything to do with back to school?
Okay, so here's the thing. Now that I'm an older and I'm a parent, and so some of my favorite back to school memories aren't even of me going to school. It's when our son Connor was going to school, and we did the whole first day of school pictures thing, and just this week actually he started his first day of his last year of college, and so it's kind of a unique thing. But there's this tradition I have with Connor that when he was younger thought it was pretty fun, but now it's almost like it's his perspective has changed on it a little bit. But when he from the very first day of school, from kindergarten, I would sing the Billy Madison back to school, back to school, that thing.
No, can you need to sing more of it?
No, that was enough. But I would sing the back to school song to Connor, and I think when he was in kindergarten and first grade, he thought it was cool because he thought Dad was making up a song, and then he realized that I was just copying it from a movie, and then anymore it was just like I got to get out of the door before he starts singing that ridiculous song. And so this last day, and of course he's getting up and getting ready to go to his last day of school, and we're not even out of bed yet when he's getting ready to leave the house. And I'm like, no, wait, we want to pray with you. And then we do pray with him, but then I sing the song too, and he's like, I'm out of here. That's it. I'm out.
Good motivation to get to school faster.
Good. You want to get your kid to school?
Sing the back to school
sing ridiculous songs and get them out the door a lot quicker.
So did you have a favorite subject in school?
Favorite subject? Well, there's always lunch. The dietary arts, huh? No?
Dietary arts.
There you go. No, it's, I would have to say probably I was a fan of science. In school, I really liked science and just how things worked and biology and all that. In fact, for a brief moment in my college career, I was a biology major and did not get that degree. I ended up with an English degree, which is even more ironic because I've never considered myself much of a reader or an English person, but I've got a degree in English and a minor in creative writing. And so I like writing, I like being creative, but it's not that I'm not a fan of reading, I'm not a fast reader, and so it's just challenging to get the ball rolling sometimes for me. Okay, what about you? Do you have a favorite school memory? Do you have one? Like when you were in school, what is your favorite memory? Or whenever our son was in school, maybe?
Oh, I just like everything about school. Like I'm one of those nerds that actually would fake well so I could go to school.
Okay, hold on. Let's clarify this. You would be sick.
Terribly
possibly
sick.
Contagious.
Incredibly contagious.
Fevered,
yes.
Whatnot.
Uh-huh.
You should not be around other people. And you would pretend you were fine.
Completely healthy.
So that you could go to school. Does anybody else see a problem with this?
I liked everything about it. I liked my teachers.
Nerd.
I liked my classmates.
Nerd.
Oh, absolutely.
Nerd. I'm sorry, what?
Absolutely. But I didn't want to miss school. And so, yeah, I would fake well to go to school.
When I was in high school, Nintendo first came out. So I would obviously fake sick a lot to be able to stay home and play Nintendo, except for my mom started getting wise to that. She's like, yeah, you can stay home, but you are not allowed to watch TV or play Nintendo. And I'm like, wow, it's a miracle. I feel better.
You're cured.
So that would be me. I would try to fake sick, or I wouldn't be feeling super great, but it wasn't enough definitely to keep me home. And then
you're cured.
My mom would call me on it, and I would, yeah, okay, I feel better. I wasn't really as sick as I pretended. But.
Okay, so for real though, I think I had a favorite subject. It was history, social studies, English. I liked math, science.
Okay, this isn't narrowing it down. This is just listing everything that a school has to offer.
I didn't like health. I didn't enjoy health.
Not a fan of health, but everything else, favorites. They're all favorites.
They're all favorites. They're all good.
Okay, so earlier on we were talking about buying school supplies,
right?
And that was, you enjoyed school supply. I was okay with the school supply shopping, but there were other things. Obviously, whenever you're going to school, you need besides school supplies. So I have some memories that weren't so great. Of shopping for school supplies and particularly school shopping for clothing. When I was, again, in my era, it was the Levi's button fly 501. That was the jean to wear.
Absolutely.
And that's what I wanted to get. And I was like, Mom, I got to get Levi's button flies. And, it rhymed and it was cool and all that. And the commercials were amazing. And, and then of course, shoes are a big deal. You don't want to wear bad shoes. You got to have cool shoes. And so, when we were younger, we didn't always have a lot of money. And so often coming back to school, shopping for school supplies was agonizing because, we'd end up at Walmart. And this is before Walmart really carried any kind of name brand. Everything was Walmart brand of some sort or another. And I didn't even get Wranglers, which I would have not liked Wrangler jeans anyway. But there was like a step below Wrangler. I don't know if you remember a brand called Rustler jeans. Ooh. And I would get those. And they were not flattering to my physique at all.
I'm sorry. I'm getting a little mental picture.
And it's probably accurate. And for some reason, I didn't wear a belt very often either. And so I'm constantly hiking my pants up, adjusting them and looking, I'm sure, completely inappropriate and self-unaware of how, like, I'm adjusting my pants way too much. And so I was like, yeah, Rustler jeans. Thanks, Mom. I wanted Levi's, and I didn't even get, like, Wranglers. I got Rustlers. And then the shoes was the same thing. I could not get great shoes. We couldn't afford it. I wasn't blaming anyone. When I was a kid, I was really upset. But obviously, in hindsight, my parents did the best they could. But whenever I would get these shoes, I was like, I can't believe they're making shoes this poorly. But Winner's Choice. Do you remember Winner's Choice shoes? It was like the Walmart brand of shoe. And I had a pair, and literally in a month they fell apart, and my mom had to return them.
That's sad.
And I think we learned a lesson. We may be able to get by with Rustler jeans, but the shoes have to be something a little more long lasting, a little more durable than Winner's Choice.
Right. So I never liked shopping for clothes. I still don't like shopping for clothes, but we would do the whole back to school shopping thing. And my little brother was a giant, and so none of his stuff from the year before ever fit. So most of the time was like following my mom and him around shopping for clothes, which made it extra boring because that's not my section. So I never really enjoyed the back to school clothes shopping as much as I loved the supplies.
School supplies. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, let me go back to the school supplies one more time real quick. When we were growing up, there was an invention. There was a breakthrough in school supply technology.
I know where you're going.
Where are you going?
Trapper Keeper.
The Trapper Keeper. And it was the greatest.
It was the Cadillac of folders.
It actually made kids want to go back to school. It was because, hey, we've got this thing that makes school supplies look cool.
It was
and
so cool.
Trapper Keepers were cool, and they had commercials, and they had all these cool designs, and it was great. And it was like probably the first, our generation's first experience with Velcro. And because
the great sound when you would open it. Yeah.
And
teachers hated it.
Again, we couldn't afford things like that. So I never got a Trapper Keeper anyway. But then it come to find out, at our school, they outlawed Trapper Keepers. They're just like, you can't have Trapper Keepers. I don't know why. I don't know if it was like some sort of school socialism type thing, or if it was just because the Velcro was way too loud during class. And if they're like, hey kids, get out a piece of paper. And all you heard was, that might have been a reason. I don't know, but it was weird. We did not have Trapper Keeper, so I was like, yes, I don't have to worry about it because all I have is this, cheap 3-ring binder anyway. But so it was kind of a relief that the school was oppressing the students in such a way.
Oppressing the students. I had a Trapper Keeper.
Did you?
But it was super cool because I'm an organizational nerd anyway.
Oh yeah.
And to have all your things in one super fun binder, but it didn't fit in my desk.
And maybe another reason they outlawed the Trapper Keeper is that it was too big.
So that was kind of a bummer. And it didn't fit very well on the top of my desk.
Right.
So as cool as it was not 100% useful.
Yeah, I loved them though. They were the commercials. I mean, it was probably just the product of great advertising. But
it made you want them.
I wanted a Trapper Keeper, but I was relieved when our school said no Trapper Keepers allowed because I didn't have one, I was just like, oh man, I had a really cool one at home, but I guess I'm not going to bring it.
Guess I can't bring it. Bummer.
All right. So do you have a favorite memory from actually being in school? Like something that when you were in school, it was just like, it stood out as your favorite memory of school. It's like, if I could go back and live school all over again, I would do it just because of this memory.
Ooh. Well, okay. It's not like hey kids, do this at your school because it's really frowned upon.
Okay.
But we had this teacher. She was my advanced chemistry teacher in high school. And she was amazing. Everyone loved her. She was one of those teachers that was very hands-on. And when you're in the chemistry world, we were doing experiments all the time. She was fantastic. But she'd let us skip class. And we would ask her permission. Hey, can we skip this other teacher's class? And she's like, yeah, absolutely. Where are you going? So we tell her we're going to go get pizza, and she's like, great, bring me back a soda. Bring me back some pizza.
So your chemistry teacher helped you skip other classes.
Yeah.
As long as you helped, bring her back a soda or something.
She was amazing.
Quite a racket going on
there. She
there.
was so amazing.
Makes me want to be a teacher. I have all these little minions at my command.
But
just bring me back a soda, kids.
She gave us permission, so we weren't like breaking big rules. We had permission.
No, she was helping you break those rules is what was going on.
But also, our senior year, she let me and two of my friends write our final for our class. So we got to write the test and take the test.
Nice.
Like I said, it wasn't a, hey kids, do this at home kind of
Hey kids, when you go to school, try to find the teacher who'll let you skip class.
Skip class and write the test. But come on. She's amazing. She even wrote me letters after I went to college.
That's nice.
I loved this teacher.
Okay, if I was trying to think of my favorite school memory, I didn't have a lot because we moved a lot growing up, and then we were in different schools all the time. Probably my favorite school memory was whenever I was in high school and I told my teachers I was dropping out because my parents were missionaries, and we went halfway across the world, and I was able to go to college as a 16-year-old. So that's actually
That's pretty
it's a
good.
great memory there. But when it comes to actual school memories, I think one of my favorite things is, of course, any boy is probably going to say recess, but I would bring my Star Wars action figures to school with me, and we'd play Star Wars at recess and things like that. And I also had a friend, and this is when I was a first grader, I think, and he was really into dinosaurs. And we'd go out and play, and we'd be like playing on, that white chat gravel, and so it wasn't really, it was just rocks. But he would be like, I'm this dinosaur expert, and we'd be picking up white chat rocks, and we'd be like, is this a dinosaur bone? And he's like, oh, I think that's a T-Rex tooth or something like that. But they were pretty much all just white rocks.
So you as a first grader
Yeah.
were finding T-Rex teeth.
No, we were finding white rocks that happened to be triangular in shape, maybe. And my friend was like, this is a T-Rex tooth, or I don't know.
But what if it would have been?
It would,
Like, how much cred would that kid have gotten being the first grader that identified a T-Rex teeth among all the normal-looking rocks?
Yeah, in the middle of Illinois on a white check
Come on.
gravel lot. Yeah, so I remember that was kind of fun as a kid. But yeah, I loved playing Star Wars probably most of all, and things like that. That was always fun.
I loved recess.
Recess is great. I mean, obviously I was one of those kids that whenever someone said, hey, what's your favorite subject in school? I'd be like, recess. And they'd be like, no, seriously. And I'm like, oh, lunch, dietary arts, right?
Dietary arts. No, I liked recess. I remember being in 4th grade, and we didn't have, official, Little League or school soccer teams. And so my friend Kyle was, this amazing soccer player. So Kyle would spend recess giving me running lessons so I could be a soccer player on their team.
Nice. I'd have to say one of my other favorite memories growing up and in school was, this was in the mid-'80s when breakdancing was cool. And yes.
You did not.
I broke dance.
You
break
danced?
I don't know where you put the past tense on that. Because apparently I was too busy breakdancing during school to actually learn the proper. I break danced, I think is the proper term. So we would break dance, and it was so cool. My brother would do it, I would do it. We'd have cardboard we'd lay out, or we'd do.
No.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you have the old boom box?
Yeah, my brother had a boom box, and I had an old single mono tape recorder thing that I would play with. Mine was lame, but my brother had a boom box. And later on, I did get a boom box, but I was kind of not really a break dancer by then. But yeah, we would break dance during recess. It was awesome. And we had these rival breakdancing gangs that would
Okay.
Oh, it was
what?
great. Yes, we watched the movie Breakin'. Did you ever see the movie Breakin'?
I've never even heard of Breakin'.
Breakin'. Oh, you're gonna have to look that one up. It was a classic breakdancing movie. In fact, its sequel probably has the most renowned title. It was Breakin' 2: Electric Boogaloo, which people still reference that today. Electric Boogaloo. Oh yeah, I was a break.
So how
dancer.
old were you when you did the breakdancing in
probably
recess?
19, 11. It was third and fourth grade. Yeah, it was great because we watched Breakin'. Our parents took us to see Breakin', and then after that we're like, oh, we're totally breakdancing.
Okay, wait.
We're gonna be breakdancers. It's gonna be great.
I just need to understand. So you went from finding T-Rex teeth.
Well, that was
in the
a couple
rock,
years earlier. Yeah.
And then fast forward 2 years, and you are rival breakdancing at recess on cardboard.
Yeah.
Your school was cool.
Well, and this was Southwest Missouri too. It's like
I'm just taking running lessons.
We
from
were
Kyle.
making breakdancing cool because most people like drove pickup trucks with guns on the back window and
No, not you. You were.
they had the chewing tobacco skull can faded line in the back of their pocket.
So
yeah.
Did you wear the breakdancing clothes
Oh,
too?
I dressed hip hop. I had the bandanas, parachute pants.
I so wish there were visuals.
There will never be.
I wish there were photos.
I don't know. My parents probably have some. I'm not eager to find them. But yeah, breakdancing was pretty cool back then, and so was I in my own mind.
Come on.
I don't know how it was. I'm not sure. I don't think I really appealed to the ladies much.
I wonder if we would have been friends back in elementary school.
No, you would have probably beat me up.
I could have outrun you because
could have outrun me.
taken all those lessons. But
Yeah.
no, I was a little soccer player.
That's cool.
And-
Yeah, I was the only amount of sports I did was breakdancing. And we didn't move on from this subject because this is embarrassing now. But yeah,
Okay.
I could spin on my head, by the way, though, just before we move on. I could spin on my head. And then like my parents were like, "Don't ever spin on your head. A kid broke his neck," and something like that. I don't know. And so I wasn't allowed to spin on my head, but I was able to.
But you could,
I could
dude,
till I gained weight a little bit later and
with the dietary arts.
with those dietary arts. Yeah.
Okay, so do you have a favorite like school movie?
Oh man, and that was the thing about growing up in the 80s. There were so many movies that kind of revolved around school, even if it wasn't like, about school. Like Karate Kid. What a great movie, And it
Yeah.
kind of revolved around school and social awkwardness and things like that.
Ferris Bueller.
And I would have to say Ferris Bueller is probably my favorite school.
Why do you think that we left high school so many times?
Yeah, because
We had permission though.
because Ferris Bueller, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite high school or favorite school themed movie, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Loved that. And so that was a lot of fun. But I never did skip school. I never planned like something that elaborate. But I would like to. And I hear Waddles, by the way, outside. I don't know if you're hearing some interference. That's Waddles. She's outside and she's outside of our door.
She wants to see you break dance.
She wants to see me break dance. She wants to see me bust a move. But Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I would have to say probably on my top 10. And then I do enjoy Billy Madison. Obviously, I sang about that, but I did enjoy.
We had a teacher that was similar to I don't remember the teacher's name, but he's the one that always said Bueller.
Oh yeah,
Bueller.
Ben Stein. Ben Stein.
It was his character. But we had this teacher, and he was so boring.
Mm-hmm.
And so the kids that went to first hour, they would like find the buzzword.
Okay.
And it was like what you could do to get him to go on into a tangent.
It
And
was
then
his trigger word.
Then he would stop teaching and he'd just rant for the entire class period. And so the first hour kids, that was their job.
Okay.
So then they would pass it along down. And so every class period, it was someone's job to throw out the trigger word so he would go into a rant.
And he's probably thinking, man, my students are so hungry. They're so hungry for knowledge, and I have so much to offer them. And really, they're just like, I know this isn't going to be on the test, so let him rant. So
he actually, the funny thing is he ran for a local city office in the next town over, and we were shocked that he won that election. So I guess he had a lot to offer.
So politics and boredom kind of go hand in hand.
We just never allowed him to live up to his potential because we kept making him rant about things in class.
That's so funny. All right, you didn't say what was your favorite school movie?
Dead Poets Society.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm probably going to have a lot of haters for this. I couldn't stand that movie. I was like, this is a movie trying to make... I mean, Robin Williams did a great job.
He did a great job.
But I'm like, the movie was so pretentious, and it was dumb.
That's how I imagine my world, though.
And then, like, the next year, every teacher decided, let's stand on our desks and try to look cool like Robin Williams. And it was like... come on, the plot was horrible. It was like a bunch of students... No, I'm talking about, like, whenever they rebirth the Dead Poet Society. It was like, let's just go and goof off in a cave. They didn't even really talk about poetry that much. And it was more about just let's be goofballs and then so I did not. I have to say, I'm sorry, I did not like Dead Poet Society. And
you're breaking my heart.
I know, I'm sorry. But if I'm gonna watch a movie about school, it needs to be an escape from reality. It needs to be fun. It needs to be goofy, and so that's why I like Ferris Bueller and that kind of Billy Madison, things like that.
I remember when our son was in, I think, 3rd or 4th grade, and it was during the High School Musical craze.
Okay, let's
And-
move on real quick.
And his whole PE class had to do one
that
of
was
the
funny.
choreographed dances.
That was funny.
And he was so angry about it because it was
No. He was not angry about it.
He was angry about it after
He was angry that I recorded him doing it on my phone, but he was doing it, and like
he was really good at that dance.
We were playing the song, and he was like busting the move, and I was back there watching. I mean, he got his mad dancing skills from his old man, but he was so he turns around and sees me recording him, and he attacks me. He is so mad. It's like, you can't show anybody that. You gotta delete that.
I wish we had that.
I'm sorry. Back to High School Musical. Wow, that was. I've never been a fan. Again, I'm probably gonna have people hating me. Don't like Dead Poet Society. Don't like High School Musical or any of the sequels to that. But I'm not. I mean, I don't know. It was just so.
One time in my life, I would love to be somewhere where someone bursts out into this song, and then everyone jumps in and they know all the lyrics and all the choreography to go along with it, and that's just like that's life in that place.
Well, that phase
That
is
would
ended.
be
That was called
super
a
cool.
flash mob, and that was like
But in High
that was
School
like 5 or 6
Musical-
years ago. For about 3 months, people were doing that.
Yeah, but in High School Musical, that was like their everyday. Someone would break out into song, then they'd all dance, and then
Yeah.
they'd sit back down and learn science.
Let's sing a song about fitting in, okay?
And then
that
they
status
all-
quo song.
Yeah, they all leave lunch and go back to class.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of High School Musical. Ooh.
Okay, so here's this question.
All
What
right.
advice would you give your younger self? Little Caleb is about to go back to school. What would you tell?
Don't give up on your breakdancing dreams, kid. keep popping and you keep locking. And someday you'll be in Breaking 3 or something. I don't know. Never made it to it.
The electric boogaloo.
No, that was
Keep popping
No.
and locking. That's your serious back to school advice.
No, I guess. I could tell myself, don't worry, you're going to drop out in a few years anyway and go to American Samoa and go to college. It
will.
doesn't really matter. No, you know what I would say? I would say don't try to worry about fitting in with other people.
That's
and,
good.
Cut your own mold. There were,
I thought you were going to say cut your own hair. It's like, no, that's terrible advice.
I do that now, actually. I cut my own hair now. But no, I would have, there were so many times growing up, I just felt awkward and out of place. And because I cared too much about what other people were thinking of me, and I tried to make sure that they
Right.
liked me. And I should have just, enjoyed
Had
who
more
I
fun.
was and had fun with it. And really, yeah, just cut my own mold. But
I remember spending the night at my grandparents' house. And they lived in the same school district, so I could catch the bus
Right,
at their house and go
right.
to school. And I had forgotten my curling iron. And I threw...
no.
Oh, it's like I'm embarrassed to this day. I wish I could go back and like pull myself together. I threw such a fit that my poor grandmother went to the store and bought me a curling iron.
Well, that's so
but
sad.
the wrong size, and it was
Well, you get too tight of a curl?
yes, and like I wish I could go apologize
You
for
need
my
to. You need to.
I can't.
So you can just go and back to your
Like-
past self and say,
chill out.
don't
It's
worry about the
not.
curling iron. Okay.
It's
Okay.
not.
It did make me think there is probably one more thing I would have told myself back in the day.
Don't get that perm.
Don't get the mullet with the perm. Don't do it, Caleb. Young Caleb, don't do the mullet with the perm.
No.
No,
And I would have
no
gone back-
business up front. No party in the back. Just be. Oh,
No,
it
I'm
was-
so glad that you had that because it gives me such material to
It was
make fun of.
ridiculous. I had, like I said, the spiky hair on top. So it was like, kind of about an inch long and spiky on the top.
Now, please.
And then in the back, I wanted to grow my hair out. And I was like, I
I
want
was
it to be
hoping
long.
you'd get to this.
And, because it looked cool. I'm sorry, in again, Southwest Missouri, okay, where I lived, everybody had mullets. And I wanted one because I was like, I want a mullet.
You wanted to
so
break
again,
dance
that's why I
with a
would
mullet.
tell this is past my breakdancing years.
Oh.
And my mom, I was like, Mom, Dad, come on. let me have one. And my dad, I had a little bit of leverage on him because back in the 70s, it was in the 70s, he was part of the Jesus movement, the Jesus people. They were like the hippies that loved Jesus. So I found a picture of him when he was younger and he had really long hair. And so I'm like, Dad, you had long hair. Let me have long hair. I'll keep the top short.
And he said, of course, son,
He
whatever
said,
you want.
On one condition.
Oh, I hated the one conditions.
This condition was horrible. The one condition was I had to perm the long part, the back. I had to perm it.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I didn't go to a salon to do it. My mom permed my hair. So there are memories of me sitting in my mom's bathroom on a stool with curlers in my hair, that smell, that really nasty perm smell.
Of course.
And and so maybe that's what I would tell myself. Don't do the mullet, and definitely don't perm the mullet.
Now, do you remember the movie Dirty Dancing?
Ugh, yeah, another movie I couldn't stand.
But, Baby, Jennifer Grey's character, she had that tight, curly hair.
Yeah.
Well, that was the thing. So every year before back to school, I'd have to go get my hair permed so I can have curls. So, because no one put Baby in a corner. And I thought, well, that's super cool. I want to have hair just like that.
That's awesome. You and I had very different tastes in movies growing up, apparently. You were into Dirty Dancing and Dead Poet Society, and I was into break dancing and
popping and locking
and cutting school. Break dancing and cutting school. That would have been Breaking 3 right there. Break dancing and cutting school. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm excited that school is back in session. Here's the thing about school, whether you like it or whether you don't like it, it gives you an opportunity to grow. It gives you an opportunity to be a smarter, more intelligent person. And at the very least, you can learn some social skills by hanging out with other people, hanging out with your friends at school. So if I could go back and do school, I probably would, just to hang out and have fun with some of my friends, and maybe even, pop and lock a little bit while I'm at it. But school is great, and it's important to have that education, because contrary to what Pink Floyd might say, you do need an education, not we don't need no education, which I thought that song was hilarious, by the way, because it's like, they're singing, we don't need no education. And I'm saying,
that's a double negative.
That's a double negative. You totally need an education, dude. You sound ridiculous. I think that was the point of it, though.
I think we need to do podcasts where you sing more, because this has been a treat for me, and I'm sure for our listeners. You've sang twice now, and
we want our listenership to go up and not down. And so we're going to keep the singing at a minimum. And that's it. No more Pink Floyd. No more. What else did I sing? Oh, no more Billy Madison Back to School.
Man,
that I saved that for Connor. That's special. A special thing to him. But I do enjoy back to school season. There's just there's a newness in the air. It's gonna start getting cooler soon.
Yeah.
And I can break out my jean jacket. Yeah, that's right.
Come on. Come on.
And so I'm looking forward to the fall. I'm looking forward to the school year. Even though I'm not in school, I love that my son is going through school.
I think I'm going to go buy some school supplies just because I'm so inspired.
Please don't buy some pencils. I will build a bouquet of pencils from what we have here. I'll build a bouquet and a log cabin from all the pencils we have here. Don't buy any pencils, but maybe we'll get you a nice ink pen or a Trapper Keeper.
Ooh, Trapper Keeper. But I would go back to school. I just loved it. I loved everything about it. I'm so glad that we did a back to school episode.
I am too. And, I'm thankful that we get to do these. And actually, a lot of our help comes from you guys listening. So keep listening. Thank you for listening. And in fact, I want to give a shout out to some of our Patreon supporters. We've got some people that are supporting us on Patreon, and I want to give them a shout out. So I'm going to give a big thank you to the Thomasons.
Yay!
What's up, Thomasons?
Thank you.
They are awesome, and they are our very first Patreons, and we're so super excited for them to be a part, and we're thankful for them. If you're interested in being a part of supporting us, hey, Patreon's a way to do it, or at the very least, just sending us a fun message on social media. And then, of course, we got one more. Do you want to give the next one?
Let's go. Let's shout out to Connor.
Wait a minute, that's not what it says.
Well, he put Childish Gambino because that's his favorite artist right now. But shout out to Connor. Thank you so much for supporting us on Patreon. We love that
Yeah,
you're doing
he told
that.
me, I saw that on there. I'm like, what? And then I realized, oh, that's Connor. He's wanting to support us. Great. And so when he came in, I was like, you put Childish Gambino. It's like, yeah, you have to tell you that Childish Gambino is supporting you. I'm like, we'll see about that. So thanks, Childish Gambino / Connor, for supporting us. But I think it's time to get to our question of the day. Are you ready for the question of the
I'm
day?
ready for the question of the day. It is, what's your favorite elective school subject?
Okay, so not like math,
No.
writing, and so we're gonna stick to the ones that were like the offshoots that you'd get once a week maybe. So PE,
Yeah, art.
art, computer, which they didn't really have much of that when I was growing up, but now it's a little
Now
bit
it's a
more of a
thing.
computer.
So music, so that could be, choir or
Music,
band.
choir, even drama. You just put all that under music, or how about like wood shop? Wood shop was I had
I was
that.
terrified of wood shop.
It's always fun to try to count the fingers of your shop teacher, right?
Yes.
Like they always seem to be missing at least one. And then, how about everyone's favorite, home economics?
I almost failed home ec.
Oh, and what did they I think they even ended up naming it something different. So when I was growing up, it was home ec, but then it's like domestic
Arts or something.
arts or something like, not to be confused with dietary arts, which was my favorite subject.
Lunch.
Also known as lunch. But yeah, so hop on our website, camptownmedia.com, and we have our own version of a Scantron there, where you're going to put a dot in a bubble next to what your favorite elective subject in school is or was if you're like us and you're out of school.
And the good news is our website does not require number 2 pencils. So, and if you're curious, the winner of the cartoon poll from last week's podcast, Scooby-Doo!
Which I figured it would be Scooby-Doo. In fact, I almost voted for Scooby-Doo myself. I did get on and vote for Muppet Babies, because I was like, we got to get at least one vote. But
Muppet Babies came in second.
there were only 2.
Like came in second.
This time we're going to have more options to choose from. So we'll actually have maybe a first and second and third. But get on there and vote. And then, of course, give us a shout out via social media. We'd love to hear from you. But I believe
There's the bell.
All right. We'll see you later.
Bye.